man, this water is coming right on up. And you just drove right into a tsunami. What did you expect would happen? Hey guys, Wheatywaffle here today, and we are back in Waffle County playing some City Skylines in our Rebuild or Redevelop series. Before we jump into the episode, I want to give you a quick overview of the things I've changed from the last part. So you'll notice here, I've started development on this little area here. This is now our water treatment facility. We were running out of water treatment for the whole city. So I added in, before we just had 3 of these small inland water treatment plants, I've now added in 2 of these larger ones. So we've got 2 larger water treatment plants, 2 smaller ones, and so far our sewage is totally fine. In addition to that, I did place down a pumping service. I still want to go in and do some light detailing for this area, but we've left a bit of room for expansion as well as expanded this quay even further. So now all of this is covered by a quay, but I think this is filling this little area nicely. And what's really great about this is that this business row here with these trees is kind of hiding all of this from the rest of the area. I mean, you can see the pumping service, but you don't really see the buildings that are below in front of it. Now, what goes here? Oh, so far nothing is here. Why don't we go ahead and just throw down a little bit of something? Because we had a park right there. You don't need a park here. We'll put that down and we'll place a little spot of trees, boop, right in the middle. Originally, all that water treatment was happening over here in NATO Landing, and I've reworked this so that it includes now 3 geothermal power plants. So now we've got a little bit extra power production for our city, which again, placing us kind of in a future-proof kind of setting so that we're making sure we have all that we need so we can keep expanding. And you'll notice the big change, which is this Tram Depot. So you'll notice this light pink. This used to be Route 7, which was a bus route we built in the last part, but so many of you all kind of agreed that we should change this into a tram route. One, trams hold a bit more than the buses do generically. 90 passengers is just a little bit less than the super bendy buses that were on here before. And the super bendy buses, I do believe there was far more buses than we needed for this area. We had a particular stop down here. Yeah, we've got 68, 69, 88. So this stop is still, these 2 stops here are still pretty beefy. This stop here is sharing the stop with the North Park circuit loop we have, and this stop here is the one that comes right off the train. So you'll notice, I mean, the way the pathing works, this path leads directly into the train station. So we've made these into tram roads. The people are kind of walking around, being able to stop at these tram roads and using this kind of in the same way we had Route 7. So we'll see how it goes. It might need some finessing, but I just finished building these areas, so we're giving them a little bit of time to hopefully meet the demand. What I want to work on today is this new area here called Lititz Point. Lititz is a place in Pennsylvania. It's like a tiny little town, and I was actually pretty close to it this weekend. My brother got married, and so I was inspired by the name to build something similar, I think well, not similar, but build something named after that area. It will have absolutely no affiliation with the real Lititz. So what I want to spend today doing, we're just going to kind of go ahead and get into it, is I would like to zone out this area and build a, I guess, memorial park in a way. So let's see, is this even 17 units? So yeah, okay, I guess it is even. I would like to build some kind of memorial park. The intention for the memorial park is it's gonna capture honoring all the people who've been lost in random smaller disasters, like for example, the disaster that destroyed pretty much all of Washoe, that I haven't really built individual monuments for. The only disaster monument we have in our city is right here. It's the Port Song Disaster Memorial that is a part of the Forest Polytechnic Institute. And although that, that monument is great and wonderful, and it's serving kind of remembering that tsunami we had early on that wiped out all of this area. We've had a bunch of small disasters throughout the course of this game that we're not really remembering. And so the Lititz Point is going to have a larger park in it that is going to remember all of those disasters. I've begun to rework this train line since the connection wasn't working anyway. I had thought nothing of just deleting it. So right now they are connected. We're going to get back to it. I'm not loving this connection here, but I also don't hate it. So for now, we'll leave it and we'll come back later on if we want and try to mess around with it. But what I want to do, I would like to change some of these to elevated sections. So why don't we go ahead and actually cut these in half? So we want to raise this section. I think we're just gonna do a lot of moving. We've got this section will be flat, this section will be raised, this section will be flat, this section will be raised. Great. So now let's try to readjust these. That gives us 3 underpasses, 3 different ways to get over. Haven't really solved for this area yet, but I am thinking we could have this point here also be a bridge. This is a little funky how that's working. So let's instead do this again. We'll come from here to here. I don't know why you are so high up. Oh my word. We'll send this straight across to here, at which point we'll then come back down to the ground. So it's for some reason I'm losing the menu whenever I click. Don't know why. Happens from time to time. But we'll send that straight on out. And then we need to kind of adjust this height, I think, because none of this is matching. There we go. And then we can kind of swoop our way over along the highway and reconnect into that. And we'll do that later on. I'm not pressed about it at the moment. Let's take this, let's turn off anarchy, and let's send this road 5 units out. Let's do 5 units out and 16 units down. And it looks like we are able to go under here just fine. So let's go under. What is this? That's 1, 2, 3. So let's go under 6. And then 5 units and go back to 0. And send it out 10 straight. So we kind of scoop underneath. Although, that absolutely does not work. I would like to do this correctly the first time. So let's just back this up. If we're here at this train line, 1, 2, 3. What if we came down 26? And we did 6 underneath. Much better. The street light is technically pushing through, but as long as cars can get through, I'm okay. So that's 26 below. 1, 2, 3. And let's go out 6. And then Lititz Point is going to have a substantial park here at this point area. So why don't we get these roads back up and then we can map out what that looks like. So this takes, if this is our ground height, this is taking about 14 units or so right here, 15 units we'll call it, to get back up to the ground. So why don't we come 15 units, connect up to ground level, we'll have to smooth them out, but that's okay. And then we'll bring this up here to ground level as well. Then I think we connect these together, and this is the edge of this area. All of this becoming, you know what? We'll do one more row back, but we'll do just enough that we get a path in between, nothing more. This block is 17 units. Okay, so the blocks
Meteorologists have issued a severe tornado warning
aren't
for
all
the
the
area.
same.
Residents should seek shelter immediately if any is available.
Now, I'm going to click on this button, but for some reason, it causes an issue where it just flashes. But let's see what we got. Tornadoes down here. So, sorry for the flashing. Tornadoes down this way, so I think we're going to be okay. That's not terrible. I don't hate it. Let's go ahead and smooth out this other direction. So if we go from here to here, smooth that out, and then from here to here, we'll smooth that one out so that we've got a much better setup here for our train line. And then I want to send this one, I think we can kind of just send this straight on through, to be totally honest, because that's a pretty decent height change. Yeah, I think every vehicle will get through this. Again, I know you can see this through here. Ignore this. It's not a problem. I'm not that pressed. Okay. That comes to there. Now, this area is gonna be somewhat like, I mean, it's relatively gridded. I don't mind that. I know that it's maybe not the most exciting thing to have to look at, but I do think that sometimes there are areas that call for a more gridded style, and this area that we're trying to create, kind of a downtowny transitional area, I do think is one of those few spaces in the city where I would prefer it to have, you know, some kind of grid pattern to it. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean the grid pattern has to be the same all the way through, but I would like some kind of grid. Why don't we let these two be a little bit closer than the others? Or better yet, no, let's go ahead and just have it. No, I like that. If we do it like this, it's kind of 1, 2, 3, it's 3 on both sides, which I think is pretty cool. So we'll send that down. And then from this one, we will just connect, I think, straight on into here at a nice 90 degree. 89.9, 90, great. And then this can connect on down. I think that's fantastic. Here comes our tornado. Luckily, it's not hitting any developed lands. And as long as it doesn't hit the train line, we're going to be okay. Wow, that actually looks so good. Like, the tornado looks really nice. We'll send this along the back. No reason not to. This one here, I don't love this connection, although I say I don't love it, and I think I would love it if we just made all of this a bridge. That whole area can be bridged, and then this here can all come down to this level. Give it a little bit of something there so it doesn't look so crazy. This side, I think we're going to keep the same. I don't think there's any reason for this to all be a bridge. I kind of like it all being a bridge. No, this is going to be a bridge too. Yeah, I like that being a bridge. That's kind of fun. All right, continuing on with our roads. We've got 2 nice squares here. One of them's not going to stay a nice square. That fits perfectly through the middle, as does that. You know what? They're both going to go and become grids. And then for this area, we have this beautiful road here. What is the name of this street? Cedric Blvd. Only goes to there. What is the name of this road? Cooper Boulevard. I like the name Cooper better. And Cooper goes... Oh, Cooper kind of becomes a big looping road. All right, I do think... I don't want it to all be Cedric. Or all Cooper. So why don't we take Cedric Boulevard, and it starts here. Okay, that works for me. Once it reaches, oh, it did destroy. We'll have to go over there really fast. But once it reaches this intersection right by the water treatment facilities that are a bit shrunken down, this becomes Cedric Boulevard. Cedric Boulevard is going to somehow connect with all of this, or is it not? I think Cedric Boulevard will just come straight, and this is the dead end point. I think we just send it to dead end. This all will connect into here, and like this is the end of that road. Like it just reaches here, boop, that's it. You did it. Great job. This side, these are a bit larger. I think we keep one of them for the, maybe for like a school or some larger building that we're gonna need to place there. And I think, too, that I want to maybe adjust this one to this point. So this will connect to here, and no bending. This will connect straight into that corner as well. It's a little bit strange. We don't actually need it. This is a larger block now, so we kind of have a nice... I mean, it's a grid. It's not, you know, anything extravagant or exciting, but... unfortunately, sometimes you just need them. What if 6x6, this got a nice little curve, and then we've got this little corner, which could be, actually, this could be really useful for some additional like services, like trash or incineration, which I guess is the same thing. I think this is pretty good. Let's just quickly throw in some beautiful water pipes so that everything can get watered up. We'll send this straight on down to connect to here. We'll send this straight on up. Let's turn anarchy off for all this because I do want to see this connect everything and work. So we'll connect here and here. All of this is now set up with some water pipes. We're gonna do pathways next because I do think that having the pathway network built first is better in the long run. I love having these paths that cut through kind of like back alleys for the business road. So this is important to me that we make sure we get this in here. But I also think it's useful to have some roads that kind of cut through maybe at the crosswalks, because that's what really is going to help with the mobility. Now there's not any crosswalk kind of throughout this area, so I think these are fine. Over here, we don't know what this will be yet, but let's go ahead and turn off road guidelines and place one right through here. There is a crosswalk here, so we'll go ahead and make that a little cross. These are all pretty dense blocks, so we'll keep those together. And then back here again, let's go ahead and just fill in this middle area, and let's maybe just add in a bit more mobility throughout this space. That looks good. Okay, so we've got some extra pathways. Let's do some zoning. I think it's time. I do want to, before we do zoning, let's give this the policy. Lititz Park will have the city planning policy high-rise ban. I don't want anybody doing anything that is going to cause issue. And I think this gets fast recovery because this area is so going to be important for remembering those that were lost in previous disasters, that this area is like a first response area for when there is new disasters. And with that in mind, let's go ahead and make Lititz Park, which is going to cover this whole little corner. So I know pretty recently we built Anchor Hills or Anchor Heights, which is actually a 5-star park now, covered in monuments. People seem to love it. I'm really hoping for this park. There's one, is it called Spire? It's a statue. Okay, hold on, maybe it's in here. Maybe it's a unique building is actually probably what it is. This, what is this? Obelisk. It costs 5,000 to build. It's not crazy tall, but I want this in here somewhere. I know for sure. But now actually realizing how small that truly is, I think we want to have something even grander in this area. So we're going to have to figure out what that could be. We haven't unlocked some of these other items. This is really what I want. Experience a sinkhole. Okay, hold on. Please hold. We're experiencing a sinkhole. Disasters. Sinkhole. We're going to put the sinkhole right over here. I don't know how intense the sinkhole is going to be, but let's see. We've had a tornado. We've had an earthquake right there. We've had a thunderstorm. I think we've had a forest fire. We've not had a collapse yet. We've had a fire. We've had a tsunami. We've had a meteor. All we need is a sinkhole. So we just clicked on it. We'll let that potentially give us a sinkhole, but then we might be able to build that disaster memorial. This is going to be Lititz Memorial Park, and that's a pretty substantial park area, which I'm really excited about. So with that in mind, our game is playing. Let's go ahead and do some zoning. I lied. We're not zoning yet. I want to change just a little bit more. I would like to use the large avenue with grass, I think along this frontage road.
Geologists predict that a sinkhole could strike at any minute. Residents should take
Do
precautionary
they?
measures.
That's crazy. Who would have thought we would have had to experience a sinkhole? Wow. Go ahead and curve this into here. Oh man, here's our sinkhole. This is wild.
A sinkhole has occurred somewhere in the city. Stay out of harm's way and contact authorities with any
Sinkholes in real
information.
life totally suck, and sinkholes in our city would also suck. It's actually kind of crazy we haven't gotten any yet, but we just forced one, which is awesome. I don't like how this is forming here. It's also strange that this is just such a curvy road. I think I've made a grave mistake. Okay, I think that this road here ends. I think that ends there. What is this? This is a tree-lined road. I think it becomes a little double-lane road because it's so close to this park, but I think that's it. I think what we had here before was just fine. So let's put this back. At least Yeah, no. I think this was perfect as it was. We should not have changed that. I'm really hoping that the buses seem to kind of resolve themselves. So we're just going to ignore the buses. If there's problems, that's on the buses. Did that unlock experience a forest fire? Girl, you want a forest fire? Right there. Oh my. Oh no. Is that not substantial enough? Okay, no. There's a little forest fire there. Go ahead. Alert me. Ooh. Forest fire. I think that this is all commercial. This whole thing is commercial except for those front two. For residential, this back block is absolutely residential for sure. I think that this area here, again, absolutely residential, as well as this being residential. This area can all become low density, which I think is just fine. We're going to leave those two open. Over here, do we want higher density or lower density along this backside? Downtown is like right here. So this would be high density. It would have to be. So why don't we go ahead, erase that little corner piece, but fill in all of these guys with the high density that they deserve. Erase maybe that little corner piece. This is going to be some kind of school or something that we know. I think that this can all become residential. This can all become residential. I think we go ahead and we have absolutely no demand for commercial, but I do think I want commercial somewhere throughout this. I think this becomes high density. I think these areas here become little commercial strips, or excuse me, business strips. These are to hug the train station. This is to separate the noise. If we're going to do that, I kind of want to do it. So maybe all of that becomes commercial as well. Or excuse me, office. So that we really are separating from that area. I'm happy with that. I think that's pretty good. Let's keep note. We're at 23,000 people. So that is currently happening. Forest fire is still going on. Have we unlocked this yet? It still has not considered this fire, I guess, grand enough. So we haven't unlocked that memorial. But why don't we go ahead and start doing our Lititz Memorial Park? Okay, I think this is what we've got. This is Lititz Memorial Park. There's still some work in progress to be done, but I'll let you guys give me some suggestions and we'll go from there. And ignore the power lines. Hopefully I can get everything connected up. You know what? Actually, we're going to get everything connected up. We're going to remove this, or excuse me, remove these. And instead, we're going to place some extra gazebos around just so that we don't have to have power lines, because the power lines are really unfortunate. How is that working for us? We're still not connected. We've got a little bit of connection here, but we're not getting this connection. Is there just like a super small little thing I can place that has power? I mean, I feel like the gazebos like are the smallest thing that have power. These are all props. Okay, great. So there we go. We've got power almost to everything. So let's do one more gazebo. It's kind of like a little gazebo-y walk down here. But this way, everything's connected up. That looks really nice. I think we're going to do more to this. I do think, though, that for the moment, I have stretched the creative muscle, if you will, as far as it will go. And I want to just take some more time to think about what the rest of this area could look like. Right here at the start, we've got this massive kind of monument. It kind of looks like waves. It kind of looks like a meteor. It kind of looks like a tornado. It looks like it all. So I think this is our memorial monument itself. And you don't have to enter the park to enjoy that monument. There's a reed in the parking lot. I did add a substantial parking lot over here so that we can really get people in this area. And I think that that looks nice. I think that's what we need over here. I think it's going to, it might not ever fill out all the way, but I would imagine a park that's this important is going to have substantial parking. This is technically the main entrance over here, which the entrance is kind of crowded with this tree and this traffic light. Or this street light. But you come in over here, this is kind of the family area, as well as a little cafe and a restroom. Over here we have an extra chess or checker area, and then it's mainly like a walking trail all throughout, or like a jogging trail. And I envision, you know, there'd be signs that say like, if you run this whole thing, it's 2 miles, and if you run this route, it's 1 mile. And then maybe here we'll place an additional monument, but I also kind of like it just being open, that like there's this little spot where you can meet down at this second roundabout, and you also just can enjoy looking at the park. I did add an extra tower in here for disasters. When they come and strike, we have a way of alerting our people. And I tried to use every single item. So this park eventually will become 5 stars just because it does have everything that you can place, which is great. This park is going to become the main park as well. And it's going to get an advertising campaign as well as nightly fireworks every night. Celebrate, even more fun. Great. We're just going to go crazy with this one. I know we have some of those over here on our anchor park, but let's go ahead and remove the advertisement campaign from this park because it has reached 5 stars. Anchor park you have to pay for. I think this park you won't pay for. We are about to get a disaster. We're about to have a 5.4 meteor, and I've looked at the map. I know it gets a little bit blinky, so I'm not going to show it to you, but it doesn't actually show me where it's coming from. So we're going to unpause, and oh, here it comes. Oh no. There's the meteor. That's absolutely going to cause a wave.
A meteor strike has occurred. Avoid the impact site and head to shelter if any is available.
Well, that's a lot of water. I'm curious what kind of, man, that's actually like a decent disaster. I'm curious what kind of wave is going to be caused by this that hits our place. Maybe nothing. But before we close out, I do just want to quickly, we haven't done any public transit or anything like that. I do just want to quickly just get a sense and a gauge of healthcare and all the services. So trash, we're
Geologists
fine.
predict that a sinkhole could strike at any
A sinkhole of
minute.
1,
Residents
so that's not
should
going to
take
do anything.
precautionary measures.
We are actually fine with, you know, our current setup here, but we'll go ahead and place a crematorium. We're also going to place a gym. I haven't placed one of those. We really couldn't have afforded one before, but we can now. And because this is all high density, I mean, it does have, man, and we're getting a sinkhole. Okay. Okay.
A
Great.
sinkhole
Near the
has
other
occurred
one.
somewhere in the city.
That's
Stay
okay.
out of harm's way and contact authorities with any information.
Everyone is safe. I don't know about, we really don't have much coverage down here. Why don't we place this hospital if I force it in here, it's technically overlapping, but it's really not. I think that looks pretty nice. And if we could even push it in a little bit more, that's okay with me. So now we've got a hospital down here at the end, kind of overlooking the water, overlooking the park, which is beautiful, as well as a gym. Let's do the other remaining services, and there's a tsunami.
Residents should avoid roads and waterfronts.
What is happening? Why is it one after the other? All right, we're getting a tsunami now, so watch out, folks. It's disaster season. Let's put this guy. Fire department, we don't really need a big one over here. I think a small one will do, just because we have so much else happening in this area. Let's place a tiny one along the water's edge. That'll cover this section, and that's gonna be just fine. We're gonna need police. Not really. I don't think we need too many police over here, but if we did want one, we'll place this smaller police station, just because this to me feels like it would fit in these areas pretty nicely. If we anarchy this right here, yes, it's right next to the train line, but like that fits beautifully in this spot. Let's also go ahead and just throw some trees in this back alley that no one would be in anyway, as well as here along this area to cover the incineration plant. We'll place a few over here. Crematorium, not an incineration plant. Very different things. Now this area here, this larger yard, we intentionally are keeping this open because I feel like we're definitely in need of some elementary schools. High school, we're doing okay, but I think we do want some kind of elementary school here. We have one over there, but I think placing another would not hurt. This is a high school, this is elementary school. We could do the community school. Probably not going to really meet the full demand, but we could think about placing a second one kind of nestled over here by the train line, across from some of these residential office buildings. And then we can even, you know what? We could finally do one of these fields. What if we moved this community school across from the gym?
Of a tsunami approaching the area. Residents should avoid roads
and we place the basketball or the football field with the track over here. If we were to like, oh,
a tsunami has struck the city.
Well,
take
hold
caution
on.
and avoid roads and waterfronts until the water recedes.
Yeah, I mean, I moved the football stadium underground, underwater. I didn't mean for it to go there. Bulldoze that. Okay, we are getting a little bit of a tsunami here in this area. Oh no, here's the tsunami. Oh, the tsunami is this way. So this is all from the impact of the meteor. The tsunami is coming in and it is completely destroying all of the fishing industry that's here in Treacle Bay. I don't think there's much to worry about. Let's go ahead and speed it up. I don't think there's much to worry about here for the city at large, but man, this water is coming right on up. And you just drove right into a tsunami. What did you expect would happen? Yeah, that is a pretty substantial tsunami that has just kind of wiped out the whole base area here. And it's almost touching this park. The water is like legit climbing up the wall. It did actually reach the park a bit. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, decent tsunami hitting there. The tsunami is also coming along here, and we're going to see if this has any impact on our city in the next part, because this is where we're going to leave it. I've been recording now for over an hour and some change, and it's going to take another second for the tsunami to hit. This is our brand new section, y'all. I'm really happy with where we are. It's not done, but it is coming together. And I'm really excited that it's coming together. So if you have any suggestions about what we can do in the to improve this or to build it out more, I'd love some ideas for this park. It's actually way larger than I had anticipated, and I guess I don't totally know what we can do to fill it out. Let's hope this tsunami doesn't wipe out too much else. I'm glad it didn't actually hit any of Point Cerepo, but it just destroyed Treacle Bay. So this area here is gonna need some love maybe in the next part. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this part, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to leave a comment about what we can improve, I'd love that from you. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one.